It's time for border-gavaskar. It's gonna be spicy, but whose spice is it gonna be? Kangaroo spice or curry spice? Because this is important for the WTC. Akash,
Oh,
what do you think?
definitely. Oh, definitely kangaroo this time. Like I think this is we've seen that last time that Australia last held this was 2014, and the inclination might be to go with India, just to keep on retaining this and hold the death grip basically on this Border Gavaskar trophy. But
Absolutely.
no way. I think this is a really, really tough. I think there's just so many new people coming in. We've had this happen to us in the past, but I don't think at this kind of unprecedented level. And the second thing is also India's performance is really, really unprecedented.
Yes.
We're coming off a horrible, horrible, horrible series,
Whitewash.
a, a whitewash at home against New Zealand. They played their socks off New Zealand. Amazing stuff. And now I think India is in pieces in a way. I think we don't really have a great team identity right now. Rohit's not going to be playing this first test match in Perth. Kohli's form is in complete question marks, and people are saying, "Is this the last test for him? Is the last series for him?" And it's just too many uncertainties kind of going into it right now, and that I just think that Australia have that stability that they're gonna take it. Yeah. Mm.
All right. So how about we take these pieces and try to make some sense of this jigsaw, right?
Yeah.
Going into the first test, let's look at what our squad is going to be, and then we
Yep.
look at Australia. Okay, so opening is going to be very tough. Jaiswal making his debut in Australia. First time he's playing on Australian pitches in any format. That's going to be tough. With him will be Mr. KL Rahul, I'm guessing. I think that's pretty
Yep.
much confirmed. Easwaran
Yep.
has not done much.
Yep.
That scares me.
Yep.
That really
Definitely.
scares me because this is not the KL Rahul we used to know.
Hmm.
Um, and no Shubman Gill. So three is going to be Devdutt Padikkal. What do you think of this top three, firstly?
Super iffy, super new. The person who I feel the most confident about is probably Yashasvi Jaiswal, but even in that sense, as you said, it's his debut test match.
But isn't
So
that sad
I
to say, Akash, considering that KL Rahul has made his debut in Australia as a test opener?
Yeah.
He's scored hundreds here, and we have no confidence in him.
Yeah, exactly. I think from the even in the practice India A versus Australia A games, we saw that the performance from KL Rahul, where you
Horrible.
expect, he's a senior player, not even in the A squad, but just in the actual squad itself, and
Yeah,
because he's been around this team for a very long time, so a lot of question marks. I think Devdutt Padikkal is Hail Mary at this point. I
big
really
Hail Mary.
just a toss up. I really don't know how to approach how to think about this. If he can, if I think for the top three, if they can just see off that first hour, first session, we always talk about it. Is if they can just do that, just play a little bit more patiently, especially for someone like Jaiswal, who was making a lot of mistakes. Actually, he was getting some good runs in the New Zealand series, but still getting out in ways that you wouldn't want him to get out. You feel kind of that he kind
Exactly.
of giving his wicket away. So really putting that price on your wicket is going to be really important for these top three. But I think let's do it, man. Let's get into it, Mr. Kohli.
Number four.
Number four. Do you think he can bounce back? I mean, he is the greatest Indian batsman on Australian pitches, statistically
Second
speaking.
greatest.
Well, I mean, statistically speaking, he scored the most runs. So I will say that it is just I think if he's gonna do something, you're gonna have to do it now. This is the time. These next 50 days, let's see if he can do something now. But Coley, what happens? Like, is there just the pressure must be crazy on him right now?
But that's what he loves. He's the first guy from the team who landed in Australia. He's been prepping. And that's what I like to see because his bad times are not associated with form dips per se that he's found a technical issue. he has technique issues. He's had it his entire career. He's admitted he has some
Yeah.
weaknesses. It's the mentality he plays with which really comes out. It's
Yeah.
We've said this before multiple times, right? For Kohli, his biggest opponent is his mind, especially in the
Yeah.
last 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw in the New Zealand series where he was just stuck in his own head. How is he going to score runs? And, it was at its worst. Now,
Yeah.
this is a place where he has to make a statement. Arguably, I think these guys love him even more than India does right now.
Yeah.
For them, it's King Kohli, like
Yeah.
everywhere. That's the news. He's going to
Yeah.
have
Even I
support.
don't think our media gives him, Indian media gives him
No,
that
no,
much
no
kind of
way,
hype.
no way,
Yeah.
no way. That's the thing. So, and maybe that fires him up. Obviously, the Australian team, we know the attitude. They're Aussies, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. That's gonna stay. And I
Hmm.
think that is needed to fire up this machine, man. This run machine has not been starting. We need
Yeah.
something to ignite that engine.
Yeah. Yeah. And just a final thing on Kohli, I think if any way he can figure out to get some runs, see off some difficult periods, how much that's going to ripple effect to the entire team is going to be so huge because he's like,
Yes.
if he can score runs, I feel that then everyone will say, "Oh, I have the confidence. I'm seeing the senior player giving me the confidence to score runs also." So you're seeing that, and I think it's just going to lift the entire team up. But it is this, I think we always say this, but man, this series really is going to depend on him for him to score some really proper runs for India to really
Yes.
show to be on the front foot because that's how you're going to win. That's how we're going to win is that if you're going to be on the front foot and actually taking and being up for the fight. I think we can't be playing defensive cricket. That's just not we're not going to win like
No,
that.
that's just a fact. And
Yeah,
speaking of defensive cricket, our 5 and 6 don't know the meaning of defense,
exactly.
as Kapil Dev said in '83. So it's Sarfaraz Khan gonna be interesting how he tackles pace on a bouncy wicket like Perth. But hey,
Yep.
he comes from the Mumbai school of batting, and there's another Mumbaiker who was his height in '92, and he scored a century at Dhaka. I'm not saying
Hmm.
Sarfaraz is Sachin, but it's not impossible.
Yeah.
And there will be a lot of spin periods as well. Perth's pitch will break down and it will turn.
Totally.
So
Totally.
Sarfaraz needs to prove why he's been picked in the squad
Hmm.
now that the New Zealand
Yep.
series is over.
Yep.
Pant at 6.
Best. I mean, he is by far the best Indian batsman in this lineup. I don't know if he bats at six. I could really see him batting at five. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind him batting at five. We get more punt on the to bat because
What about Pant
every
at
time.
3, Particle at 5?
Oh, wonderful! That's perfect. Yeah. Honestly, at this point, just go for it because I don't think this team really knows and has the proper identity just quite yet. So they want to try something new. Go ahead. But I think punt is probably gonna be the batsman that I'm really really excited to watch. Has had so much success in Australia. Has had just continuous success in the New Zealand series. Was looking good in the Bangladesh series. Just amazing stuff. And everything that's punt has gone through within these last 2 years, you'll say this is nothing. I think this is nothing. This
Exactly.
this is
Exactly.
nothing. He can take on any challenge. So that's what I'm really really excited, and that's what the mindset that he's kind of playing out with there. So loving it. It feels like like that old punt that we're getting, but it feels a matured hitting in a way that
Yes.
he's still taking his time and still defending the good balls. So very very excited for punt, but I think this is where it kind of becomes a big question
7, 8,
now.
9.
Seven, eight, nine. Our bowlers are all rounders, if you want to say.
Jaddu is pretty
Seems
much a
like,
lock.
yeah, I think Jadeja definitely lock. Need that left hand spinner. Need a left hand combination. He's been been pretty good in Australia previously. Um, but I think Ashwin is the big question. I think his performance in New Zealand was not up to par, man. It was just not good. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was man of the series before that in Bangladesh. So it's really like a weird situation where you don't know which Ashwin is going to show up.
Yeah.
And, I've never really said this throughout his career. Maybe he wasn't picked for different reasons.
Yeah.
But and he's going to be key because he's the guy who will think and bowl, right? And these kind of pitches on the first 2 days, that's what you need. That's how he
Yeah.
trapped Smith.
It's not gonna spin. It's not gonna spin that much. So you just
No,
yeah. Hmm.
And that's how he got Smith and Labuschagne, who were their two best batsmen in the last series. So it's looking really tough. I think the potential thing is Washington Sundar. I won't be surprised if he starts this game over
Yep.
Ashwin, another off spinner. He's also tall. And another lefty, possibly a much better batsman right now. Again,
Mhm.
yes, Ashwin scored that 100, but I'm just saying it just seems that way right now.
Yeah, totally, totally. Yeah, so some big question marks there. But I think the Pacers also hearing some rumors of some, the pacing lineup, it doesn't feel, as set as maybe we thought it was. But before we kind of talk about the two other Pacers, because one is 100% lock and the captain for this first game, Mr. Jasprit Bumrah. Firstly, I'm so happy that he's captain. I think deep down, probably for both of us, we probably felt that at
We've
one
been
one time
waiting.
he's deserved this opportunity to be captain and captain in a very very big game like this. And India's had some success previously when you bring in the vice captain promoted up as captain. And they've done some incredible things for us. Take a look at like what Rahane did last series in Australia. So hopefully some magic can rub off again. But it's
So
yeah. But I think Bumrah is definitely going to be the most threatening bowler, of course, for India. And then you have these two other bowlers where I think Akashdeep and Mohammad Siraj, but hearing some rumors of maybe Harshit
Harshit
Rana, Prasidh
Rana,
Krishna, some options there. But who do you think those two other bowlers are going to be for India?
I would stick with experience of Siraj
Yep,
after Gabba and just last series. I know he's our most questionable bowler right now, let's be honest.
totally.
His run up has changed, his delivery doesn't seem the same. He's just not getting anything. But you got to back your guys. So I think this is one place where you got to back your bowler because there's going to be a lot of workload management. And then it's a five test match series. You already don't have your, main captain playing. You don't want to go with a half-ass squad. Sorry
Yep,
for my language. It's just um you need Siraj for his experience. I think you do take Akashdeep because he gets skid, and
yep,
natural
totally,
skid on a bouncy wicket can become deadly if used right. He could also go for 6 runs and over. It's very possible.
totally.
But
Hmm.
what's the risk? I don't know. Last point on India. Why are we just getting all players from the KKR setup, whether it's Harshit Rana, Prasidh Krishna, like
It's a
enough
Gautam Gambhir led
KKR.
team, man. What are you talking about? Yeah.
And also, guys,
uh,
just so you know, before they left for Australia, Gambhir had a long meeting with the chief selector Ajit Agarkar. So there has been words. There is no clarity right now if he's going to stay the coach if we lose this series for red ball.
yep.
So, we don't know what's happening, but there's just a lot of uncertainty with this team.
True. I think there's just too much uncertainty and too many uncontrollables where it kind of makes India's. We just truly don't know what you're going to get from this team because everyone but in a way that might be good. I think everyone needs kind of a reset. Look at Kohli, look at someone like Ashwin for that matter. Also, maybe could use a little bit of a new pitches, new setup, everything like that. So hopefully some things click, and we'll see how good India can be at Perth. But we talk about India. Let's talk about the other guys, man. Australia. They are just man. They got all bases loaded. They got everything covered perfectly. I think that opener was a big question. But they've brought in, if you guys don't know, they brought in Nathan McSweeney, who's going to make his debut for Australia. Pretty cool for him to be straight away given the opportunity to open. Australia has done
Opening
this in the
against
past.
Bumrah at Perth. Yeah, it'll be fun. I want
Yeah,
to see that.
yeah, yeah. I'm excited to see that. But him and Quadra, I think that's going to be pretty interesting to see. I think Quadra is going to be really difficult to play. He's by far, I think, one of their top batsmen who doesn't get enough credit actually in that lineup.
True.
Super good, very consistent with scoring runs, consistent with seeing off very very difficult periods. So I think it'd be kind of interesting just from a pure objective point of view, seeing someone like Usman Khawaja bat. But 3 and 4, Marnus Labuschagne and Steve Smith. I don't think we can call them, maybe are they, because we used to call them they're the pillars of the Australian batting lineup. They don't really seem like that anymore. Is that just me?
They seem like the pillars who've taken a few hits.
Yeah,
We talk about Kohli's average dropping from like 57 to 48 now. Even Smith's average has gone down from, well, a unbelievable 64 to a still great 54.
yeah,
But he's looking like he has some chinks in the armor. So it's going to be interesting to see how he combats it. And that's what makes the series so interesting because, like you said, the last time Australia won, which was 10 years ago in Australia, Kohli and Steven Smith were like the young upstarts, aggressive in each other's faces, scoring
totally.
tons of runs, 600, 700 runs each. And now both of them are coming in 10 years later and they don't know how they're going to play.
Yeah,
Smith tried opening, didn't work. Kohli tried number three last series, didn't work. So pretty interesting there.
yeah.
Moving on to Australia's number five and six. So we have, well, phew, we have to get this guy out 10
Destroyer, the
times.
destroyer, the destroyer of Indian cricket. Travis Head,
Travis Head.
breaker of
We have
all
to get this
hearts.
guy out 10
Yeah,
times.
just have to
Please,
get him out.
guys.
I think if the thing is, I feel that if India are going to get him out, they're going to have to get him out in the first 15 to 20 balls. Maybe even that might be a little too much. Because as soon as this guy starts hitting and gets set, he's just so tough to get out and just kind of bats in his own zone. So that's going to be tough. But no Cam Green. That they have no Cam Green. Mitchell Marsh kind of steps in. We'll be kind of curious to see how Mitchell Marsh plays. I think they've relied on that fourth pacer a little bit just to give the other pacers and all the other bowlers just a little bit of a break. So hopefully we'll see where his bowling lines up. We know how good he is with the bat, but his bad batting up the order in white ball cricket. So I'm curious. I'm really curious of what's going to happen. I'm not entirely sure what kind of Mitchell Marsh we're going to get in this series, and what exactly his role is also going to be. Is he just going to be a like for like replacement for Cam Green? Maybe something a little bit different. So I'll have to see. But then we can go. I think finally Alex Carey, the
Best form
solid
is of
rock.
it, best form of his life. I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
it's just too good right now.
yeah,
Really
totally.
safe behind the stumps, knows what he's doing, gives
Mhm.
good direction to the bowlers, great with DRS reviews as well.
Yeah,
Um, he's a lock. He's a
yeah,
lock for all five.
yeah,
I think Inglis is there just to
yeah.
be safe. I don't think he's
Yeah,
playing.
totally. It's a good mention you mentioned about the DRS reviews because I think previously in the last series they got some reviews a little wrong. And I think that's that those matter. Those really, really matter. And like it can be those really, really fine margins that can really change. If you can get that one wicket and get that one out, that could cause a collapse. So yeah, it's a super, super good point that you bring up. But the bowlers, oh my God, this quartet is when are they going to retire? When are they going to actually retire? It's getting to a ridiculous point. But um, the goat, Nathan Lyon, and Stark, Cummins, and Hazelwood. We talk about them so much, and they just. You think they're going to start them four for this test match, or do you think they might go with Scott Boland or someone else just to
I'm
for the
thinking
depending on
Scott
the pitch?
Boland. I feel
Hmm.
like Scott Boland has a sneaky chance of starting over Hazelwood. I think
Okay.
Stark and Cummins, you have to play every single game that you can.
Yeah.
Stark might be rested in the GABA test, I'm assuming, because he has to play
Hmm.
day night. That's his forte. Um, he might rest in GABA again, and that's where you
Yeah.
can get in Boland to again break the pitch. I think
Totally.
that's their workload management from what I see right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think from just overall that bowling lineup is it's as solid as ever. I think it's going to be really really solid. We'll have to see the lot of for Australia. They haven't played Test cricket in a little while now, so
No.
I'm kind of curious to see also where their performance is. What kind of thing that they have, but it's Australia. They usually always, even if they have a long break, they seem very very confident of themselves. And I think that's what this Cummins led team has kind of put them and had that team belief in them. So I think overarching thing is for this series is it's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be a really really tough one for India to dominate in certain periods. It's going to take a lot of patience. I think if they can try to play from what they've previously done the last two series of batting time. And I cannot stress this enough. Batting time and just playing out
I
some
know.
deliveries. I think that's going to be the real difference maker. But as we've seen this last series, it doesn't tend to do that. So we'll see what approach they have to take.
Yeah, I know we seem a bit frustrated, guys, but we've been looking forward to this series for more reasons than one. You will get to know more with time.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
stay tuned and be prepared for a surprise.
Yeah, totally. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.